Hey there, and welcome to Study and Prepare with me. I am your guide, and I am so excited you are here. Whether you are a student aiming for top grades, someone preparing for an important exam, or just curious about learning something new, you have come to the right place. On this channel, you will find general knowledge, current affairs, reasoning, English, etc. My goal is to help you study smarter, not harder, so you can achieve your academic goals and still have times for the things you love. Let's dive into today's lesson and start mastering those concepts together. Constituent Assembly and making of the Constitution. The Cabinet Mission advised the establishment of a Constituent Assembly to frame a constitution for the country. Members of the Constituent Assembly were elected by the provincial legislative assemblies. After the partition of India, a number of members of the Constituent Assembly came to 299, of whom 284 were actually present on the 26th November 1949 and signed on the finally approved Constitution of India. Assembly, which had been elected for undivided India, held its first meeting on December 9, 1946 and reassembled on August 14, 1947 as the Sovereign Constituent Assembly for the domination of India. It took 2 years, 11 months, and 18 days for the Constituent Assembly to finalize the Constitution. Objective resolution was moved in the first section of the Constituent Assembly by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. The following objectives were embodied in the resolution. The Assembly appointed the drafting committee with Dr. B.R. Ambedkar as the chairman on August 29, 1947. The members of the drafting committee were N. Gopalaswamy Ayankar, Aladi Krishnaswamy Aya, K. Munshi, Muhammad Sadullah, B.L. Mittar, and Dr. D.P. Khaitan. The third and final reading of the draft was completed on November 26, 1949 on this date. The signature of the President of Assembly was appended to it and the Constitution was declared as passed. The provisions relating to citizenship, elections, and provisional enrollment, etc., were implemented with immediate effect. That is, from the 26th November 1949, the rest of the provisions of the Constitution came into force on January 26, 1950, and this date is referred to in Indian Constitution as the date of its commencement. Dr. Sachidananda Sinha was the first President of the Constituent Assembly. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected the President of the Assembly. B.N. Rao was appointed as the Constitutional Advisor of the Assembly. On November 26, 1949, the Constitution was declared as passed. The provisions relating to citizenship, elections, and provisional parliament, etc., were implemented with immediate effect. That is, from the November 26, 1949. The rest of the provisions came into force on January 26, 1950. Drafting Committee. The Constitutional Assembly appointed a drafting committee on August 29, 1947. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who was the chairman of the drafting committee, submitted a drafting Constitutions of India to the President of the Assembly on February 21. 1948. Enactment of the Constitution. November 26, 1949, Constitution was adopted containing preamble and 395 articles, 18 parts, and 8 schedules. The Constitution in its current form consists of a preamble, 24 parts, and 448 articles and 12 schedules. Enforcement of the Constitution. The Constitution came into force on January 26, 1950. It was specifically chosen as the date of commencement of the Constitution because on this day in 1930 the Purna Swaraj Day was celebrated. Resolutions passed in Lahore section, committee name and headed by. Silent features of the Constitutions. Lengthiest written constitution. The Indian Constitution is the lengthiest in the world. Originally, the Constitution had 395 articles and 8 schedules, blend of rigidity and flexibility. The procedure of amendment of the Indian Constitution is partly flexible and partly rigid. Some provisions can be amended easily and some provisions can only be amended by passage in both Union Parliament and half of the state legislature. Parliamentary government. India has a parliamentary system of government both in the center and the states. The president is the head of the Union of India and the governors are head of the states, but they act on the advice of the council of ministers. They have nominal powers. Federal system with unitary features. Our constitution contains federal features of government like divisions of powers, written constitution, independent judiciary, and bicameralism, but a large number of unitary features like a strong center, single citizenship, flexibility of constitution, integrated judiciary, emergency provisions, etc. Independent judiciary. There is a single integrated and independent judiciary in India. The Supreme Court is the highest court of the land. Both Supreme Court and High Courts have been given extensive powers to interpret the Constitution and the law under various provisions of the Constitution of India. Circular state. The Indian Constitution stands for a secular state. All religions in our country have the same right and support from the state. It does not uphold any particular religion as the official religion of Indian states. Emergency provisions. Indian Constitution has special provisions to meet any extraordinary situations or emergency. During the emergency, the central government becomes powerful and the state come under total control of it. During emergency, our federal system becomes unitary without any amendment of the Constitution. Different sources of Indian Constitution. Government of India Act 1935. This act informed the basic or blueprint of the Constitution of India with the features of federal system, office of governor, emergency power, etc. Constitutions of Britain. Law-making procedure, rule of law, single citizenship, bicameralism, parliamentary system, office of comptroller and auditor general. Constitutions of USA. Independence of judicial review, fundamental rights, removal of Supreme Court and High Court judges, preamble and functions of President and Vice Presidents. Constitution of Canada. Federation with strong center to provide residuary powers to the center. Supreme Court's advisory jurisdictions. Constitution of Ireland. Directive principle of state policy, method of presidential elections and the nomination of members to Rajya Sabha by the President. Weimar Constitution of Germany. Provisions concerning the suspension of fundamental rights during emergency. Australian Constitution concurrent list provisions regarding trade, commerce and industry. Languages of the preamble. South African Constitution, procedure of constitutional amendment. Constitution of France, Republican of Liberty, Equality and Fraternity. Constitution of Australia, idea of concurrent list. Constitution of South Africa, amendment with 2/3 majority of the parliament. Constitution of former USSR, fundamental duties. That's it for today's lesson. I hope you found it helpful. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone else who might benefit. And if you have not already hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you never miss out on new tips and tutorials. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.